show, everyone. And if you are new here, we'd like to welcome you in. Today with us, we have a fabulous guest on, an entrepreneur, author, lung cancer survivor, national speaker, Craig Sotkovsky. Please welcome him in. Did I say it wrong, Craig? Oh. I'm going to get it, Craig.
It's always good for a laugh.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I am going to get it. We'd like to welcome you in today. I am so honored to have you on my platform today to share your journey, to share your passion, just a little bit about what you've been through and what you're working on and how you've overcome being a national speaker, a coach, and just reaching out to people. So if you wouldn't mind just starting with telling us a little bit about your story.
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity. I greatly appreciate it. So my name is Craig Sotkovsky. I'm a 9/11 respondent to the World Trade Center. And in 2012, I started to develop some issues. And it was collapsed lung and pneumonia. Excuse me. And over the years, I ended up finding out that in 2017, I was diagnosed with cancer. 2016, I was sick literally the whole year and started to realize that what they were telling me I had wasn't exactly what I had, because they was telling me for years I had COPD. Mm-hmm. And then I found out that I had loss of carcinoid tumor in my lung, in my upper and mid lung. Sorry, having a brain. No, and what happened was my life started to break down in a way that I never thought that it would. And as an entrepreneur, we go through all of these things, and I started to realize this problem that I had, or this obstacle in my life, was ripping apart my family. It was tearing everything down because, I was sick from 2012 to 2017. And then after 2017, in 2020, I had 8 surgeries and procedures. 2021, I had a knee ablation after years of having knee operations. I had 8 knee operations. And when I did the knee ablation, I ended up getting 3 blood clots that almost took me out again.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's been, it's been interesting struggle.
Yeah.
A lot of relationships lost, a lot of just devastation, heartbreak. And what I've realized about myself was that I could take anything.
Yeah. Stand
back up again, and I'll restart from a different position, a different foundation. Yeah. And what I started to realize even more so now is, as the pains are starting to subside, I'm getting back into who I used to be in my 40s, and I'm 58.
Yeah.
And it's got, it's given me a smile back on my face again, because I was in, pain and self-imposed misery, and my wife and daughter, have been on this journey with me. Yeah. And there's some things that I wish they didn't have to witness, see, be a part of. And, it breaks people down. And, I'm here as one of the tens of thousands that are sick and dying from 9/11. People don't really understand, don't pay attention, or don't really care, because it's, it's not a problem for them.
Yeah. It's not their issue. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just encouraging people, on podcasts and to get my voice out and have people understand that you don't have time. Whatever it is that you're looking to do, start executing on those plans.
Yeah.
Life is going to come at us whether we want to participate or not.
Yes.
I've been getting a lot of cosmic bitch slaps lately.
Yes, me too.
And,
he visits regardless. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I had it's a quick story. I had pleurisy 3 times this year. That's water around my right, liquid around my right remaining lobe of my right lung.
Okay.
And there was an incident July 10th where I had to go to the ER, and they had given me morphine. I was in so much pain, And they
Yeah.
had given me morphine, and an hour later, that didn't really do anything. So they gave me Dilaudid. And, that's like 8 times more. They say like 8 times more powerful than morphine.
Yeah.
And I say this with a smile on my face because I think I woke up July 10th just to my life and everything, because I woke up then to them shaking me, putting oxygen up my nose, and telling me, Craig, deep breaths,
Oh my
deep
goodness.
breaths. And it was like an eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what happened? I have no idea.
You have no
No,
recollection.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, it's like one of those firing epiphany moments where it was just like something just swooshed down, and it just woke my ass up.
Came over you. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That
yeah, it
aha
came over
moment.
me. It came over me hard, and I'm here. I'm more grateful now than I ever have been.
Yeah.
Instead of the woes me, why me? It's like, why not me?
Right.
Good things
Right.
happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people.
I
Stand
agree.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the
Yeah.
shots. Punch
Yeah.
back. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that, like you say, we have to embrace life. And I think that a lot of us go through things and it hinders us from growth because we fear of making a mistake again, or we fear of that happening to us again, or we have fear of just life, period, right? When you found out you were sick, I'm sure it's almost like that fast forward of everything that you may think you may not get to complete. So I think that, you become scared when you get those kind of things, right? Those kind of diagnoses. And so, like you said, you have to take a step back and realize that we are given whatever we're given for a reason and to a purpose for us to grow from, to learn from. And it's unfortunate, that it's illness sometimes that wakes us up, right? That kind of reminds us that, hey, this is but a fleeting moment, right? Life is just a blink. We think we have such a
Real
long
quick.
longevity, right?
Real quick. I look at this as my 13,457th retry at life. Like,
Yeah.
this is my opportunity to step up.
To
You know,
step up and
step
try.
step up and be the best version of who I can be, better than who I
Yeah.
was 10 minutes ago. I make
Yeah.
mistakes all the time. I
Yeah.
have a book out, and on the back of it is me on top of a pyramid.
Hmm.
My next book that's coming out is me behind a pyramid of prescription pills.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've just I've fallen in love with myself.
Yeah.
I want to be more comical about
Yeah.
life's experiences,
Yeah.
because I got too serious for the longest time. I used to be a really good earner, and I wasn't earning anything, so I have self-doubt, self-sabotaging behaviors. I've had experiences while I was going through all of this shit that there's no reason why you cannot tap into yourself
Yeah.
and be the best version of yourself, regardless of the stories. And this is what I've learned, and this is what I teach.
Yes.
Regardless of your story, not to be callous. It doesn't matter what the story is. It's the
Yeah.
emotional attachment that we have to the story that needs to change.
Yes.
And I was a victim for so long. I felt like a victim for so long,
Yeah.
to where it was like, every experience that I would walk through at that time, because, you're dying,
Yeah.
and you start looking around. It's like, I got a wife and kid. Well, I don't have enough steaks in the freezer. What do I do? So I go and join this thing, and I go join that thing, and I'm looking at this opportunity and that opportunity, and three-quarters of them failed because you're not in the right mind to pursue them. And I'm just realizing all of this stuff now as it comes rushing in. It's like,
Yeah.
stop, slow down.
Yeah.
I believe when you're sick, illness, or whatever, you're not in the right mind. And it's taken me in 2017, the surgery that I had, it was 9 hours. And I was one of those people that woke up screaming. And it was from that point where things just didn't really start to make any sense. I was always telling my wife, I was like, something happened, because to this day, I have like 2 years of my life where I don't really remember. And I don't, and it was like from 2017, I kept getting just like these glimpses of my life. And then it was like in 2020, I had all these surgeries and procedures where I went under so many times.
Yeah.
It was
Like a
kind of
blank.
like, it was really surreal. It was like I was living in a dream. And I
That's
couldn't
amazing to feel that way. Like almost like an out of body experience, right? Like
that's what it felt like. And
an
and
out of body experience. Yeah.
and I'm just starting to get back into, like I said, who I used to be. Now I realize I'm not going into who I used to be, and it's who I became during this whole thing.
Yeah.
I like the person that I've become.
And who do you think you've become? If you can elaborate, who have you become with this experience? What have you acknowledged that's not as important as you thought it was before? What is so less of an obstacle for you?
I think I became Craig Sotkovsky.
Yeah.
I, I,
Yeah.
I think I became this power, this beacon for myself, just hopeful, grateful, appreciative. And when I say that, I'm talking about, appreciative of everything, the
Yeah.
good, the bad, the evil, the wicked, the fun, all of it. And I think as we're supposed to embrace ourselves, love ourselves, we have to go through the dark work. I've been going
Yeah.
through the dark work for years now, and I've spent tens of thousands of hours on myself, self-imposed isolation, just meditations, and getting out of my own way. And
Yeah.
it's taken a toll that I was willing to pay. We call it the VIG. Everybody pays a VIG for something.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and I believe for myself, I'm here to wake people up. I'm here to show you that you don't have time. You know,
Yeah.
my
I
daughter
agree.
has had a teacher that used to say everything's like Tuesday afternoon, because you'd be going along life and then boom, Tuesday afternoon shows up and then something devastating happens.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It change in the blink of an eye. It can change in the blink of an eye.
man, life change. Yeah, life will change real quick.
Yes. Yes. It
You think
will.
you're going in one direction and then boom.
Yeah, it has a way of surprising you. It has a way of like you said, slapping you around, slap boxing you around a little bit. But it's in those moments that we either lay down and be defeated, or we get back up, like you said, and we throw the punches back, and we get back in there and we do it as well. We come back greater, and we come back stronger and more resilient, as you have. Right? You've taken um, not only the cancer and volunteering in 9/11 and your childhood and growing up, and you've taken all those things and you've turned that into becoming a national speaker and helping others find their best selves, as you say. There, everyone has it in them, right? But sometimes we need someone else to help us bring it out. And and not a lot of people can do that. And you know what, Craig, just from our brief conversations that we have, you seem like a real stickler. Like, you're not really soft about it. You're
I'm
like,
coming.
get
I'm
up
coming
about
at
it.
you. I'm coming at you with a sledgehammer.
Yes, yes.
And
Like
and
like
and
you said, it's
all
too short. Life's too short to
and
be.
just all the love in the world. You
Yeah,
know, um, I'm very empathetic now. And
yeah,
some people are, oh, that's a weakness. You can't be weak. You can't cry. You can't show your emotions. You can't. No, that's what makes you weak.
yeah,
That's what makes you a coward.
yeah,
When you're not facing, the problems or obstacles that you have and you just let them go by the wayside,
yeah,
you'll just in relationships with yourself. If you're going down one direction, you start to believe ill things about yourself, your projects are going to suck. Your mindset is going to be horrible. The
yeah,
relationships that you're in are just going to be subpar. The
yeah,
energies that are around you are just going to be all mixed. And it's you need to get into the deep down of who you are.
yeah,
And we could use traumas as triggers. I laugh, and I laugh when somebody, oh, it triggered me. It's like that's what you have to work on, is that trigger, so it doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. We
don't
can't
sit
use
in
it as
it.
an excuse, right? It becomes an excuse. It
You
becomes an
always
excuse.
do. I use so many excuses. I use so many excuses of why I couldn't do things while I was going through this battle.
Yeah.
And I believe it's given me um, universal input, universal love, compassion, understanding. I still
Yeah.
get pissed off like everybody else, but
Right.
my time frame is real short now. It really is. Because it's like whether I'm arguing with somebody or having a disagreement, they're always right. Because I can't have the ability to fight with somebody or argue with somebody based off of their experience.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to. You know,
Right.
somebody doing something towards you or whatever, it's not really about you. And I used to
No.
take everything personal. Just woes me, why me? And it's like, well, you know, universe, God, or whatever you want to say, showed me why. It,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it's given me my foundation for who I am. I get to speak all over the world about all different kinds of things that I'm interested in. I want to know why we fight as
Yeah.
humans. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of caveman BS is this? Like, what?
Right.
Yeah, it's like we're we're not look around the world, man. There's
Yeah.
there's so much garbage everywhere now, and
Yeah.
it all goes back to we're primitive, man. We're cavemen, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
we get distracted by shiny things, and we get I don't I believe that when you go through all these humiliating experiences, embarrassing situations, and you know life just keeps pummeling you, you
Yeah.
have to eventually you're either going to die because you're not growing, right? And
Right.
sometimes it's like, you know, people will throw dirt on you, not realizing that you're a seed.
I
And
love that. I love that.
you know, I'm starting to find all these fun things about who I used to be. I'm no longer that person anymore because of the things that I've gone through.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I'm part of an organization like the 9/11 community. People, two, three different kinds of diagnoses of cancer, or you know, going through different kinds of surgeries and procedures because of all of these things that you know we were exposed to.
Yeah.
And I was treated for cancer three times, and they were only right once. But I have the wounds for all three times. And one
Yeah.
of the things in the 9/11 community now is breast cancer for men. Now I got a scar here. I got a scar here. They took out 19 lipomas, and you gotta just keep punching.
Keep punching, keep going,
You gotta
keep
just keep.
going.
You got, you know, if you have to crawl in this world, crawl.
Yeah, that's
Take
right.
the shots.
Yeah.
When I had my knee ablation, about six, I want to say 3, 4 months later, I met somebody, my buddy Robert, and I was like, oh, my leg, my leg, my leg. And he's just like looking at me like, uh-huh. Then I realized I'm bitching to him and he has no legs.
He's like, so I'd love to have some pain in my leg. Yeah.
One of the things that fascinates me about this gentleman is he does things that the average person couldn't even comprehend doing. Couldn't
Yeah.
even comprehend doing. And one time he had told me, he's like, you know, people take things for granted all the time. He's like, I just want to wiggle my toes in the water.
Yeah. The
I
small
was,
things.
I'm getting goosebumps now because
Me
he's such a beautiful person, and he encourages me when I look at him and I listen to him. And he's a quirky dude, man. He's just a really fun-loving guy, and he's been through it all, and he
Yeah.
shows me consistently how to stand up again. You know,
Yeah.
he does things. He could drive any machine in construction. I mean, the guy is just amazing human.
Amazing
Yeah.
individual. Yeah.
Amazing individual. And that's what I want to be to the world. I want to show the world that you can stand up again, regardless of your story. We
Yeah.
have to change that narrative. We have to
Yes.
change like, okay, why something happened to you? Like I go back to like when I was molested as a kid. It used to be the most embarrassing, horrific crap that I was thinking about and all of this. And now I'm like, get to speak about this to
Yeah.
men that
Yeah.
would never talk about that.
Yeah.
And
Show them
and I
that someone has been through it, you know?
and again, humiliating, embarrassing. I used to speak at convention centers years ago, and I'd walk off stage thinking that I was a piece of crap because there was things that I didn't deal with. So I wasn't able to be the person that I wanted to be. And right now, as I'm talking to you, I realize that I'm Craig Sotkovsky.
Yeah.
And people need to realize, regardless of what society says that you are, you have to be yourself. If you don't have a vested interest in everything that you do, you're going to fall by the wayside because you're going to be depressed, anxious. Like our families want us to go to college and do certain things that they did, and it's like, why are
Yeah.
you putting your failures on your children, man? It's ridiculous.
I have to be who I'm going to be. And I like that you said that we have to be who we're going to be. And that as parents, and I think as you said, even as growing up myself, there was an expectation of you before you knew what you wanted of yourself. And so when you kind of grow up with other people's expectations and your own wants, you constantly are battling yourself because you don't know what direction to go. Do I make them happy and I go this way, or do I make me happy and I go this way? And I
Make
agree,
you happy.
we have to make us happy. And I like that you said that regardless if they throw dirt on you, because then you feel like if you don't go that way, then they're gonna down talk you and judge you, or you know. And I like that you said that. Throw dirt on me, I'm a seed. You have no idea what you're throwing dirt on.
Bloom, baby, bloom.
Yeah,
No, I
bloom.
mean,
That's I just it speaks volumes in such little words, you know. It really does, because people need to hear that, you know. Even in my older age as I am now, I'm just starting
like
out with what
26,
I want to do
27,
in my
20.
40s. Yeah, in my 40s. Yeah, and I'm just starting what I wanted to do in my passion. And as you, I have a story. You know, I had a domestic violence relationship, and I kind of grew up in that as a young teenager into an adult woman. But I also seen that in my past, and so it was a pattern and a cycle. And I never thought I could be more than what I was at a time in life. And so, as you say, we have to get out of our own way. You know, we have to realize that the past doesn't define us, who we are. And a lot of people try to whisper it in your ear to remind you who you were because they're afraid of who you're becoming. And I think we have to really realize that in life. And I had to take a step back and see that what I was doing, what I'm doing, no matter how hard or the obstacles or triumphs that I'm going through, it is so worth it because it's what I want to do. And I don't want to be miserable. And I had a guest on before, he said that we try to live life so we could die in peace. And he said, I want to live in peace.
100%. I want to live in peace. It
Yes.
was the same. I wanted to die in peace. While I was going through this in 2020, I I got the opportunity to be in Power Voice speaker for Les Brown,
Yeah.
and I learned so much about myself that you have this institution, this icon, mentoring you and showing you and telling you. And he impressed me so much. I was like a giddy little kid when he was like, and I was just like, I get starstruck and none of that stuff. But he was critiquing me to make me a better speaker. And I remember I was just like, okay,
I'll do
like
it.
this, just like this goofy kid, right? And I'm like, this is one of the best motivational speakers on this planet, and he's telling me how to craft my story.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like, Craig, all you have to do, because at that point I was okay to die. 2020, there's so many surgeries, all anesthesia, like all of this stuff. I was so, I was okay. I made peace with my wife, made peace with my daughter. I was like in my head,
Yeah. This
you
was it.
know, like I'm done. My body's falling apart. Every time I was getting surgery, I would start to mentally think about healing weeks before. And I started to realize that was becoming a habit of me being able to see the outcome of certain things.
Yeah.
And when it came to Mr. Brown, Les, it, it was such an uplifting human, and I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I want to like really put my time, energy, and effort into. Has it been prosperous? Yeah, I mean, you go through, who somebody wants to hear you speak. Okay, so you're speaking. Are you getting paid for it? You're coaching people. I put my thousands of hours in. You
Yeah.
know, while I was going through certain things, I had an office in Atlanta, and I was teaching entrepreneurship to young kids, well, young adults. And I look at them now and I'm like, they're so successful.
Yeah.
They're beautiful kids, and a lot of them just bloomed, took off. And that's it. I want everybody to bloom and take off.
To bloom and take off as they should. And the impact that I would say that's the impact that you hope to make on individuals and community with your speaking and your coaching is that they bloom, is that they find that they let people pour dirt on their seed and they bloom.
Aha moments are very important.
Yeah.
Aha moments are extremely important. And I believe you need the time and energy into yourself.
Yes.
You really do. And I put so much time and energy into myself, and my external world was not where it should have been.
Yeah.
But it was also this self-imposed woe's me misery kind of one surgery to the next, kind of like, is this it?
Yeah.
Everything I was tackling at that time was just like complete utter failure. But I realize now it wasn't that it was a complete utter failure. It was just building me up to be like a giant.
Yes.
I always,
Yes.
always, and I use always all the time. I use always all the time. It's one of my favorite words because my life was always like that. It was just boom,
Yes.
boom, 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 boom. And,
Nonstop.
and I think we all need to just recollect our life. Take time. And this is what people don't do is they're distracted by TV and sports and all this stuff. When we have these problems, you have to take the time in the problem. You have to
Yes.
communicate.
Right.
Communication is one of the biggest things that people no longer do.
No, and it bridges so many gaps. Yeah.
I mean, you could save people's lives just with communication.
Yeah,
One thing you say to somebody can change their life forever.
I
Strictly
agree.
strictly because they're going to have a vested interest in what they're doing. I talk to people all over the world, man, and we're all the same. Nobody laughs or cries in a different language. And
Yeah,
once we start to realize our superpower, that genius that we have within ourselves, that everything starts to change. And unfortunately, as you start to change, the people around you um, walk away, change, not for the good, not,
yeah.
some people are just not going to go on this journey with you, who you
And
thought.
that's okay. And that's okay.
Everybody has to grow. I
Yeah,
just want I just want everybody to be at peace and love themselves. That's one of
yeah,
the biggest things is loving yourself because I didn't for such a long time. Really, such a long time. I just was just miserable in my head.
yeah,
And I think about this stuff like my daughter watched me sick for more than half a life, and
yeah,
that breaks my heart. My wife would walk by to see if I was still breathing. That breaks my heart. But I understand there's nothing I can do about that.
there was nothing you can do about it. There was nothing
It
you
was
can do
it was
about it.
part of their experience.
Yeah,
So we have three people sharing one thing in three different experiences,
yeah. From
right?
three
That's
different views. Yeah,
from
three
three
different views.
entirely different views. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's amazing when we think that things only affect us, and we don't realize, when we get into that moment of your self growth, me, why, like you said, that we forget that the people that love us the most also are going through that same, well, not that same, but their own view of this journey. Um, and it's so meaningful to have people in your life, like you said, that don't fall off when the times get tough. It's always surprising when It's the people who you think will not fall off, that fall off first when you go through the hardest things, the ones that you think are there to the end. In what ways now, besides coaching, are you using your experiences from 9/11, from cancer, from your childhood? Just how, besides coaching, are you reaching out and making an impact also? I know that you're an author. Are there any other entrepreneurial endeavors that you're taking on as well?
I've stopped literally everything just to put everything I have into podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just I want my voice all over the world.
Yeah.
My company is from this point forward, and it's like from this point forward, whether you see me or hear me, I have to leave you better than when I found you.
Yes.
And I want people to really understand that.
Yeah.
You have this genius within yourself. You have to get out of the story. You have to move that story to the side. And
Yes.
I'm talking about horrific stories, man. In the beginning of this year, I found somebody online. His name is Magisha, and we started becoming friendly and stuff. And his story is amazing. It's like him and his brother walked from DR Congo to, I think, Uganda. Um, yeah, just, yeah, one of those things, right? And when I found Magisha's story, I reached out to him, and he's a 25-year-old kid running a school at Nakavali settlement, refugee settlement in Uganda, and we started communicating through Zoom calls and clubhouse conversations, and we were looking to put a food program together and show, agricultural farming and fish farming, and we were in the talking stages, but it was moving forward. We were talking about how we're going to get certain things to Uganda and where we can go and reach out. And then one day I turned the computer on and I went to Facebook, and he had gotten killed. And yeah,
Oh,
and it broke my heart. It shattered my soul. And it
yeah.
was like, but for months, it's like, why did he pop into my life? Like,
Yeah. The
what
purpose,
was,
reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
purpose. And I came up with something, and it's, I'm not doing it now, but it's something in the future. I would love to open up like Magisha's Pantry and show food programs, like how to
Yeah.
develop food programs, how to sustain aquaponics, just just to
His
be.
journey, his story lives in you, still continues to live on through
Oh,
you.
I'm
And
still
the
wondering.
purpose is so you can still carry that torch. I do believe that we are all um, given two dates at birth, right? Our and and no matter how hard we try to run around it or avoid it, I just think that it is that. And sometimes, as you say, we question, like, why did he come in my life? But everyone, I think, even you and I, right, that cross paths is for a reason. I'm going to take away so much from this conversation, and I hope that we continue to network, and I hope that you take away from this conversation. And
Absolutely.
I think that that's what life is about, is that people are supposed to leave a little bit of their sprinkle a little bit of themselves into other people for the good. And that's what that trickle down effect is. And I think that's what our purpose as humans are. It's not, like you said, to have the fancy things and the biggest houses. It's for a legacy. And a legacy is something that sometimes you cannot see, you can only feel and you can only experience. And that's what I hope to leave with doing my platform and my podcast, is a legacy of um, remembering that we are all one still, and that we are unity, and that we have to still work together and network together to still get the word out there. Because like you said, the world has gotten so big and has forgotten the small things in life that started everything. It was never always about big cars, and it was never always about big houses. It was always about people and how we helped each other and how we helped each other build each other up. And I think that getting back to that is so important. And with your work is so that you're not only, like you said, you want your voice to be heard internationally, because you want it to resonate the message of hope. And that is amazing that you want to be able to speak that into people. The tongue is such a powerful tool. And I do believe that we speak life into people as well. We give them that energy. And I looked at some of, your speakings, and I looked on your page, and I was like, I want to be coached by Craig. Like, it's so empowering, how you speak and what you say. And just, it comes from within, and we don't all have that. We don't all have that courage to, like you said, where some people are embarrassed and they don't carry that torch, but you took that embarrassment and you've made a torch with that, a torch of inspiration that you are taking from Uganda to, from this place to that place nationally. And now you're speaking of continue someone else's legacy, and it's amazing. It's amazing what you've taken and you've done with your work in your life, and how you've taken it all to continue to want to just give. It's so selfless. Your work is selfless. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy that. Can you share your books with our readers, where they can find those, your website?
Sure. Amazon is Everybody Pays a Vig, One Man's Entrepreneurial Journey, and CraigSotkovsky.com. That's where you can find just about everything.
And then your social handles, if they wanted to follow you on social
Yeah,
media.
so like my socials, like everything is Craig Sotkovsky.
Yes, the speaker. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and like so I'm writing another one, and I'm so while I was going through this whole thing last year, I had an incident happen where T-Mobile gave my SIM card number out, and everything intellectually that I had got hacked. I got wiped out from I'm talking books, cartoons, scripts. I'm looking at the paper now, and sometimes I just like, oh, you know, and, and I for the longest time I was like, oh man, no, I can't believe this. I want to leave this stuff to my daughter, and just all my information is lost.
Yeah.
And what I realized was maybe that was the past, and
It's supposed to
now,
be lost in the past.
yeah, I mean, I'm just some guy that's figuring this stuff out like everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing my views and my opinions. Not everybody's going to resonate.
Right.
I was on a podcast yesterday talking to this kid in India, and what I was talking, that culture is very tough. So you're talking about somebody sharing an experience about their emotions, and that's not well received.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Yes.
I just don't. Because here's the thing. This is what I've learned, 58 years old. I've learned that if you're not showing your emotions are human behaviors. If you're not expressing yourself, if you're not crying, getting the emotions out, you're holding it in. And that's going to cause stress, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideations, and just
it just goes on and on. Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like that. I walk 4 to 5 miles a day. Now I'm on a treadmill because it's just outside Atlanta. It's starting to get, stupid weather is starting to creep in.
Yes.
And it's getting cold. And we have to take the time for ourselves. And people, I understand, have all of these things that you have to do, family and relationships and business and work, but you have to take time for yourself, even if it's 10 minutes, just to like debrief, man. Just
daily, not once
daily.
a week. This is a daily.
No, this is ongoing. This is an ongoing conversation with yourself, man. That's personal development. This is not one of those, oh, I'm fixed.
Yes.
No, there's always things that are going to creep up and just come into your life. It's the time period that you sit in it, right? I tell people, this is a temple. You have to sit in it. This is the only real estate that you could own. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that is going to get you in trouble, get you out of trouble, right? The tongue. What are you saying? How are you communicating? We need to come into this world now communicating. I don't want to hate you because you're black. I don't want you to hate me because I'm white. I don't want you to hate me because I'm like from America and you're from this country. Nah, man, this is the internet world, man. I love everybody. I love you all. Right? I want to make sure I want to make sure I'm correcting my behavior, right? I'm I'm one of those people. It's like I'm sorry. I was an idiot. I was
Yes.
stupid. Whatever, right?
I'll own it. Yeah.
I have to own it because
Yeah.
I'm the one that did it. I was the one that was involved in it. I was the one that, I used to think that my wife and daughter got cheated. I was only at the World Trade Center for 2 days. Never look back. Never look back. 2 days. 2 days.
Today.
Here's the problem with those 2 days. I know guys that were there for months, nothing, they're still going for regular checkups and all of that stuff, but nothing's happened. The problem from what I understood was to be there to get an attorney and all that, you needed to be 4 hours of the first 5 days. I was there for 2 days of the first 5 days. I was like, man, that was the wrong lotto to hit. That was the wrong lotto. I was like, that was not the scratch off I was looking for.
Not at all. Not at all.
And it is what it is. And now I'm becoming on the other side of it. I want people to understand that you are this beautiful being. You are this light force.
Yes.
Regardless of what the story is, you have to change the narrative. And we all need to do this. We all run into problems, obstacles, everybody. You're human. It's just a human thing.
And it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Murphy's Law. Murphy's
Yes.
Law. Murphy, man, he creeps up on you.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Murphy creep up on you, man. Beat you
Yes,
upside the head real good.
I agree. What message would you have for our listeners, your fans, mine, just future listeners, people or someone who, as you say, may be in a spot right now who's thinking that they have no way out, or that they can't do it, or that this is it for them? What message of hope or inspiration can you give them that will resonate?
I'm going to give you something really profound.
Yeah.
I'm a knucklehead from Jersey, and if I could do it, you can. Just embrace what you're going through.
Yeah.
Actually sit in it. And I don't mean to be callous. The world is so just contaminated with bad thoughts. People in
Yes.
abusive relationships. I understand they're hard to get out of.
Yes.
Seek help.
Absolutely.
Go find. There's people that love you that don't even know you, and this is what I'm finding out. Like
Yeah.
people that love me, I've never even met before, but now they're starting to reach out, like they love me more.
Yes.
How could I be callous about that? How could I? I understand my message is bigger than I'll ever be. Eventually, I'll be off this volcanic meatball. And this legacy that I'm building right now is I want my grandchildren's 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 to know who I am.
That's right.
Because I'm going out kicking and screaming, man.
Yes. 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 I will use every breath and every talent I have. You will remember me.
That's
Yes.
huge, right? My breath. I don't have many left. I mean, they jacked my stuff out. My my lung capacities. Went to a pulmonologist, and the guy was like, "Wait, how much you walking?" I was like, 4 to 5 miles a day. He's like, "How do you do that?" He's reading my chart. He's like, "Your knee operations, your hip thing, and your back thing, and your this and that. How do you do that?" I have no choice. I look at Robert's life. He's got to do crazier things than I'll ever have to do.
Right.
And look, reach out to people. I give everybody 15 minutes. If you go to my website, 15 minutes. I don't care where you're from. I'll give you 15 minutes and I'll give you a takeaway. And it's free. I'm not selling you anything. There's nothing on my website where you can put a Visa card or a MasterCard. None of that stuff. Because I want to work with people that actually want to participate in their life.
And this is not about that. This is not what you're doing that for. You're not doing that for, everybody wants to make a living. Yes.
We have to make
Yes.
it. We have
to make a living.
Yeah.
But our purpose for what we're doing is not just for that. We want to make a living from it, but we want to make an impact. We want to leave you with more than we came with, right? We want you to take away something from it. And sure. I I agree. You don't make $1 million off of giving you to people, but you gain 1 million pounds of love. You gain knowledge. You gain things that aren't able to be bought. I think experiences with other people
Well,
is
think
so
about.
much more.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, no worries.
There was like a little glitch. Um, but think about people's lives. They're glad that you have your problems because it's not affecting them,
Yeah.
and you don't realize things until it affects you. I mean, deeply, when things deeply affect you. And I always wish just enough pain, misery, and insecurity on people, just enough, so they change their life. Because that's when
Yeah.
we change, when we're in pain.
Yeah.
Could be
We have
financial
nothing else to
pain,
do
mental
but that.
pain, physical pain.
Yes.
That's when we change.
Yes.
I'm starting to smile more now, right?
Yeah.
Like I was in pain for 6 years. It was like
Yeah.
my ribs to my spine, just consistently in this pain every day, 24/7. And I started ripping the scar tissue up. All of a sudden, things start to change. So it was like going and tearing that up is what's
Yeah.
going to help me. So do that to your thoughts. Tear those thoughts up. It'll help you sit with the divine, your energy, because we have this. What I share with people is we have this external Wi-Fi, okay,
Yes.
that we're going to tap into. That's the heart and brain coherence, and it's going to send out a 3 meter like just vibration. If you do it right, you'll stun the world. And this is, it's taken me 58 years to learn how to start doing it right. I'm at the bottom end of my peak, right? I'm
Yeah.
just I feel like a little baby. I feel like a child.
Touching the surface. Yeah.
Just like, oh, if I do that, is it gonna pop?
Yeah. Yes.
Probably it's probably gonna hurt like hell because people are going, oh, I can't believe he said this. I can't believe he said that. And can't believe who does he think he is? And I'm just like, listen, man, I'm just a guy on the internet just trying to figure his life out like everybody else. Okay.
Yes.
Because we all have these problems. Doesn't matter. Nobody is going to be able to walk away from this experience alive. Okay. The
Yes.
end result is we're all going to die.
Yes.
How you could choose how you die. You want to die miserable, you want to die happy. I want to die doing my next project. I want to die.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that kind
Yeah.
of grace. That's the grace I want to go out in. I'm going to be kicking and screaming because that's my grace.
Yes.
That's what I've
That's
learned.
me.
That's
Yes.
me. Right? I'm going out as I'm getting punched, I'm going out punching. And
Yes.
this is we have to fight. We're human beings, not human doings. And this is something that people have to understand for themselves from this point to this point. So from where we are right now to where you want to go, it's who you become in the process.
Yes.
It's not
I
that
agree.
it's not the end result. The thing is who you become in that process. I hated the process. I wanted everything micro fast. Boom, boom,
Yes.
boom. I want to walk in, do this, walk out. Well, back in the day, I used to say this every time I would walk into some place. It'd be like, oh, I can't wait to change this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That didn't work out. I used to show up at different geographical locations. Problem was, I brought myself. Oh man. No, we all need vacations.
We
And
all
I've
need a
learned I've
vacation.
learned you could just absorb beautiful places that you see online or whatever. You don't have to go
Yeah.
to the Himalayas to meditate. Especially
You're right.
nowadays. You gotta do you want to be isolated to yourself, you want to meditate, all you gotta do is shut your phone off. Nobody has house phones anymore, so that's not gonna ring.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been to someone's house with a house phone in I don't know how many years. Yeah. You are correct. You are
Old
correct.
way of thinking.
We're all right in our fingertips, right? That's everybody. Everything is right in our fingertips, right in our fingertips.
We all have the resources to do it. If you have an iPhone, if you have any kind of phone that has internet service, there's free stuff everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
Yeah, at your fingertips.
Just YouTube. YouTube
Yeah,
is your friend.
Oh, that's my friend for everything. YouTube. Yes, yes,
YouTube is amazing.
yes.
And it doesn't matter whatever the subject is that you want to learn, it's there for you for
That's right.
free.
Yeah.
For free.
Sometimes in series. you can multiple series of it. Yes, yes. Craig, I am honored that you joined us today. And shared your story. We could go on and on, you and I know this. We could go on and on. And I hope that moving forward that we will connect again and that we will continue to network and continue to build this bridge of networking from here to there and everywhere. I hope that our listeners gain some knowledge and a little bit more about insight about Craig and just about your journey and what you're trying to inspire others to do and how they can live a more fulfilling life and not live in the past, but live for the future. Before we go, is there anything else that you wanted to leave with our listeners that will sit with them and they'll remember Craig forever?
Just be nice.
Be nice.
Be nice. Nobody laughs or cries in a different language, man.
That's right. That's
Whatever
right.
you're
And let
going
them
through,
throw that dirt on you. And let them throw that
yeah,
dirt
let
on
them
you
throw the dirt on you.
because you're
Yeah,
the seed. Because you
yeah,
are
that's
the
it, man.
seed. Well,
That's it.
Craig, again, thank you for coming on. It has been a pleasure. I'm very inspired. I always walk away wanting to know more about people. So, of course, I'm going to go back to your site and see if there's something I missed and that I could catch up on. And I'll also be ordering those books myself because you can never have enough motivation, enough coaching, and enough literature just about life. And I just want to know a little bit more about your experience. And I know that taking a look in your book will give me that glance into it. So I'm excited to order that and have that come. And I definitely will give you a little review and contact you after. Maybe we can discuss a little bit about that as well.
I would love that. I would love
Yes,
that. I'm
yes,
getting
yes.
goosebumps. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I would love it, Craig. Well, thank you again for coming on. And as always, to you and our listeners, please continue to live with passion and purpose.